Happy Friday. I have discovered something. I've discovered something so wonderful. It's gonna knock your socks off. A real SOC Analyst simulation. This is something else, guys. This is something else. Hey, it's Frosty again. Frosty coming in with the first. Aladam. I'm not sure what that means. But happy Friday. Hey, William. So, for all of you just tuning in, we found a SOC simulator on TryHackMe. Hey, will there be a saved VOD of this? It's midnight here. It might. Probably it will. We'll see how it goes. Hey, F Money. How's it going? I don't know how new this is, but in the Learn tab, it says new, and there hasn't been a lot of exposure on this. Wazza! It's not wazza. Acture. Hola. Waving back at you. So, this could be within the past couple weeks. I don't know. I didn't look it up. I've been busy working today. But when I clicked into it, when I first discovered it, I thought this is perfect for a Friday. Matt, I'm a YN who loves learning from you. Yun, please if you can. Bro, I love your lives, but it's always super late here for watch all. Sounds good, SL. I'll try to keep the VOD up. If anything, it'll be on Twitch. I know like 85% of you based on the poll in the last post on YouTube are on YouTube. But I'm trying to get people over to Twitch so we can get the old Twitch mods in the Twitch headquarters to finally put a category in for us. It's a simulator, guys. It simulates actual, like this reminds me of the SIM, not the SIM, the SOAR that we used at my last job. Like down to the same color scheme, the green, the blue, gray hue. It's uncanny. This is literally what you do in a day-to-day right here. You look at Splunk logs or CrowdStrike is exactly the same look to it. And we're going to do it because I have access to it. It gives you access to, if you scroll down here, you can go through challenges, but it's basically you're going through an investigation. And this is means to accelerate SOC analyst skill development. All of you are trying to get into a SOC job, right? Now, probably most of you are trying to get into a pen test job. But still, this is still fun. Yeah, the simulator is new. Newish, right? They still have the new tag on it. But if you scroll down, it covers everything. And this is the beauty right here, guys and gals. People all the while. Is it available for premium users? So if you have a premium account, it's pretty cheap. TryHackMe is very cheap. Maybe I'll do a giveaway for more. We'll see. You get access to one free scenario. And wouldn't you have it? Wouldn't you know it? I have a premium account. What do you suggest for beginners? TryHackMe or Hack the Box? TryHackMe. 1000%. So, I have a premium account. Guess what we're doing today, everyone? Hack the Box. We're going to go do Hack the Box. Just wanted to point that out to you. No, I'm just joking. All right, let's launch it. So here you can see 1 to 2 hours, medium level difficulty. It's medium level difficulty because you have to actually investigate and you have to put in, oh, I didn't show you the best part. Hold on. I'm overly excited showing you about what you can do in here. What is it, shift back or control back? Blять. Let's go back. In here, the best part is that it has an AI built in to tell you if your investigation notes are up to snuff. Look at this. Instant feedback. So you're not just going in here, investigating something, putting in your notes like you would on your actual job. It's telling you if you did a good enough job. Excellent work on this analysis. You comprehensively covered all the aspects of thank the Lord for AI. Look at this. You don't need to pay more F money. It's if you have a premium account, on TryHackMe, you can access the first module. You can also request, if you have a business email, which if you've made your own website, you can probably classify that as a business email. I don't know how loose they are at handing those out for the other simulations or scenarios is what they're called, but they give you access to the phishing one, so can't go wrong. So we're gonna launch this. Hopefully it loads and I don't get a white screen. Where did it go? TryHackMe's been finicky for me. Okay. Read the documentation. Naturally, everybody. You got to read the documentation. It's gonna. Well, we're gonna get to this, but this is just telling you what to do. Investigate the alert queue. It gives you an alert queue. Freaking awesome. As if you already been hired at a job. You take ownership of an alert, so you just put you're the analyst doing the alert. It gives you access to SIM and a VM. I don't know if the VM is currently working because this is a new. It could still be in preview mode where they don't give you access, but we're going to see in a minute here. Write your findings as a report. I already showed you that. Submit the report once you're confident. We're going to do that, hopefully. I hope there's no blocks when I sign in. Find all the true positives. Keep triaging alerts until you've closed all the true positives. Your goal is to accurately find and document these to achieve success. This is like live access to a SOC. And then this is telling you what I already said. You receive detailed feedback and a point score, which, by the way, the leaderboard on this is pretty sparse since it's new. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know about this yet. This is my way of showing the world that this is readily available. This is spoilers for when I do this. Do you use Windows or Linux main operating system? I use Windows for my main operating system. This is a Kali Linux VM though, so all you wonderful people can watch this unfold. And currently, if you're wondering what's happening, at the bottom right there, it's generating the scenario. Wolf Force Recon. I'm good. Great. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everyone who just joined. A lot of them joined and then left. I see the numbers. Take one look at my stupid face, and they're like, this is not what I signed up for. How much is 1 month premium for TryHackMe? If you're a student, I'm not sure if there's a student discount. It's $14 a month if there's no discounts involved, which is not bad. That is not bad at all. That's cheaper than a Netflix subscriptions. Do you guys remember when Netflix was $9.99 or $6.99 a month? I do. Might have even been less than that. $5.99, $4.99 when you first started. Everything's so expensive now. You have 10 streaming platforms. You're spending 5 times as much as you did on cable before. But hey, at least you have every show that you want to watch. Phishing unfolding. It's not unfolding yet. It's still generating logs. There we go. Look at that. We got 17 alerts. Was amazing. Yes, the good old days, right? Back when do you guys remember when burgers were $1 at McDonald's? Do you guys remember the dollar menu? Where'd that go? It's literally because you cranked up the intensity of my cyber career. Now I'm getting out of the Air Force. Nice. Starting your first SOC. Ooh. Dang. That just got better and better. Nice job, Wolf Force Recon. That's exciting. Okay. So what does this want us to do, and how do we access it all? Alert queue. That's clickable. All right. So first, it told us, right, read the documentation. Every company's going to have documentation. They're going to have, in this case, playbooks as well. This is coming soon. This is only going to get better. TryHackMe did not sponsor this. Although I did look back in my emails. They did email me a year ago. The guy who emailed me at TryHackMe, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. But you don't work there anymore. I did a little bit of OSINT on you. And yeah, that ship has sailed. But anyways, coming soon. This is only going to get better. More similar to an actual job. I don't know if this is going to improve documentation here. Tool documentation is telling you about what you have access to. You have a SIM. I keep telling everybody you got to look at SIMs. Let's just take a peek at that real quick, if it'll load. It should load the Splunk dashboard, Splunk Enterprise. And this is also, if it loads exactly the way it showed in the preview, CrowdStrike. This is CrowdStrike in a nutshell. If you can learn how to do this, you can learn how to do CrowdStrike. Is this available only in premium? It is available only in premium. It gives you access to one module. My life, I'm spiraling downwards financially, and I think the only way out is a cyber job. I'm having trouble finding even 5 certs, with even 5 certs about to be 6 certs. You gotta keep at it. That's all I can tell you. Look at this. How beautiful is this? You don't have to spin anything up. Like, that's the security engineer's job. All you gotta do is access it, and then you do index equals star, and it should pull up logs. It should. I don't know if it has logs yet. Let's see. Do we have any logs whatsoever? Data sets, visualization, no event sampling. Last 24 hours. Oh, wait. Let's open this up to 30 days. Maybe that's why. I already did that. I think I'm going to have to hit back. I wonder if I have to click into an app. But anyways, we'll figure that out. This is just me poking around, seeing what's available. Let's go back. There we go. Go back to that. Let's get into the alert queue. So, just like in a SOAR, you have access to alerts. This is exactly what it looks like. I kid you not. Well, not exactly, but you get an alert. It has what alert rule triggered it. The severity, obviously, the higher the severity, the more likely it is you got to take a look at that one first. Do we have a filter or is it all low alerts? We don't have any. There's only 2 pages. They're all low alerts. Interesting. Oh, I think what I saw in a preview, that's probably in a different simulation. So this is all phishing emails, which is, by the way, a pretty big part of SOC Analyst crap. This is all the grunt work right here. Suspicious attachment found in an email. You got to go in, TryHackMe.com. You got to go in and you have to say if this is a true positive or a false positive. And I don't think these are going to 21 alerts. I don't think we're going to get anything other than phishing alerts. Hence the name, Phishing Unfolding. You have a timer. Any tips for my first year CC student with 3 months of T1 SOC Analyst experience? Have a portfolio waiting on your Sec Plus. You have 3 months of Tier 1 SOC Analyst experience? What? Oh, tips, Haley? Just learn. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Yeah, I was gonna say, careful what you ask, which can be dependent on how crappy of a boss or superior or supervisor you have. But yeah, just learn everything you possibly can. If you have downtime, don't play video games. Ask questions. CISSP rate from 10. 0 to 10, CISSP. You'd have to give me a little more categories for rating the CISSP. The CISSP is a 10 out of 10 for certain criteria. You got to give me what criteria, though. Oh, look at that. It's still generating. Like I said in the title, this is live. Supposedly. This is my understanding. Ooh. Awaiting action. See, we can assign ourselves. You have successfully taken ownership of alert. That one looks fun. Let's go to... Where is it? Oh, it's up here now. Okay. We have a description. Not a lot. You don't always have a lot in the alerts that they come in. The whole point of a SOAR is to kind of give you a brief, like, understanding. I don't know if you would classify this as a SOAR. That's what it reminds me of. And you might have action buttons within your SOAR as well. If something is overtly malicious, you could click isolate endpoint. You could email somebody. You could download certain log files from the endpoint if you say you're worried about the endpoint going offline. while you're looking at it in the next 5 minutes. You could download certain packages. That, of course, requires your automation team to set up those automations to have the buttons do what they're supposed to do and pull from the source, the log sources that can do that. But yeah, you can see here, working directory, they downloaded something, net exe, use on a file server, financial records. Okay. Oh, it didn't load. That's what I thought. I thought we were only going to get phishing, but look, we get additional. We have to give it time. This is truly trying to simulate a live environment. If you click into these, let me close that. Data source, you got sysmon logs. So you got nslookup.exe. Do any of you in chat know what nslookup.exe does? Because the process name was spawned via PowerShell, via this command line, via this URL, using that URL. Also has exfiltration. Downloads exfiltration. Neat. Johnny Gates, my lord. Very similar to Rapid7 Inside IDR as well. Love the medieval music. Can't go wrong with medieval music. Domain name lookup. Namespace. DNS lookup. Are those your final guesses? All right. Severity. I don't think it really matters which one we look into first. As far as the scenario is concerned. Oh, it does matter because we can only assign ourselves one at a time. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's take a look at this. A network drive was mapped to a local drive. Normally, this is not a cause for concern, but investigate further to determine if it's malicious. So, what do we have access to? Sysmon, and hopefully the Sysmon is being ingested into our SIM so that we can further analyze it. Curiosity has me thinking about this. I don't know if we can access this. Actually, TryHackMe remote. Oh! Look at that! You get your own VM. Nice. That's awesome. Kind of sus? Indeed. That was redundant. Disregard. If I ask a question, feel free to spam an answer. Just fill the entire chat with answers. Wow, this is nice. Kudos to TryHackMe for setting this up. Hopefully it's not hopefully it doesn't break on you. But let's see what's inside here. I bet this is for investigating. Force update, important invoice. It's probably for one of those events. Not entirely sure what this VM is. Maybe for sandboxing. I'm not 100% clear on, unless it has it documented, what the VM is for. Let's see. Tool documentation. Ingested source, inbound emails, logs to identify outbound emails. The Analyst workstation is dedicated VM specifically configured for your investigation needs. Isolated environment ensures a secure and controlled setting for analyzing and responding to potential threats. Okay, so it's just a sandbox. But if we go back to the alert, right, let's just try to work this out. As if we had a job, we had to do that job. A nice Windows VM, right? And explore the taskbar. Why not? Let's have hands on SOC practice too. I bet they do. Bet they do. But today we're talking about this. And I like how it looks. I might why did I say that? Let's defend at a different live stream. I foresee a lot of these if people continue to want to watch them. But let's go through this, right? Let's say all of you watching, some of you are already working a SOC, but I'm going to go through it. You're going in, you're assigning yourself this ticket. You would assign yourself a higher priority ticket. Probably not the medium. So what we have access to is the SIM. Like I said, hopefully we can find something about this. We want to look up what this person was doing with downloads, what this is about. Why is this potentially being mapped to the local drive? So it wasn't working a second ago. Let's see if we can query stuff on here. Add data. Add or forward data to Splunk. Forward monitoring is disabled. I just signed the offer letter today for my first SOC job. That's awesome, Joshua. That is fantastic. Following methods, monitor forward. Singer malformed data. Installed integrity found industry problems. Oh no. Is that why it's not loading? Does this already have issues, folks? I hope not. Maybe it just wasn't. It didn't load yet. Those alerts didn't load yet. Index, data source. Those are history. Looking up JSON files. If you're not familiar with Splunk, you might not necessarily have to know Splunk moving forward for whatever SIM tool that you're using, but a lot of places use Splunk. Oh boy, Splunk, as you might see. It's a very popular query language. Is it a language? Index. Please work. 0 events. Let's see. Yo, HO Lizard. Okay. Let's take a look at the main page here, because I think we have to set up forwarding. I don't know why they would make you do that. Forward monitor dashboards provide information, forward activity throughput. Manage apps. Okay. It doesn't work right off the bat. Is that what you're telling me? Monitor. Files select. Upload. No. Find messages, settings, search reports and alerts, data inputs, server settings, index clustering. For all intents and purposes, this should be... There's no reports. I'm so excited. And then it doesn't have the logs. As 0 events. That's not good. No sampling history. What if we do all time? Is that our issue? We do index equals star. Maybe I'm not going back far enough. Okay. Thank the Lord. I was about to call this a bust. That they don't have their Splunk configured properly. Nobody's gonna walk in here and know how to set this up. Okay, you just gotta do all time. Duh. Actually, didn't like put in a ticket to IT to fix the backend systems. Don't know about that. Are not coming in new. Yeah, I did 30 days a few minutes ago. It goes beyond that, obviously. It goes back a year ago. So, yeah. We figured it out. Hey, everyone who just joined. Go to Search in Splunk, where you type index, change to all time. Oh, sorry, I wasn't reading the chat at the time. Okay, so If we want to look for anything, right, we just structure our query to look for what we want to look for. In this case, we have already some logs. We have just 31. It seems low to me. 31 logs is not that much. Because if there's only 31 logs, then our entries here, then we don't really need to filter it by much. File created. Important pending invoice.eml. New here, first time here? Welcome, Abron. We're looking at some Splunk logs here to determine if this map drive to a local drive is normal or if it's a cause for concern. "31 events before, sampling all time." All right, I'm typing in the wrong side. It pre-fills some of the things for you. We look up the, let's see, what did we have? And the high. And let's look up, so in this case, we're looking for, let's look up PowerShell. What was happening with this parent process name and what was net doing? Is there really only 31 logs? PowerShell.exe. There's 10. Well, 10 here. If you're not familiar with the left here, if you're curious about looking at any particular interesting field, as they quote it, you can look at the parents there, any command names. Really what you want to do is scroll through to see a timeline of events here, right? And the reason I'm concerned why there's only 30 logs is because a lot of times you're just going to look at snippets of time. 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after. What was happening leading up to this quote-unquote network map drive to the network drive map to a local drive, and whether or not, as they're saying, this might not be a cause for concern. We have to see if it's concerning by looking at the surrounding activity, because mapping a drive is not concerning. It is a little concerning that we're seeing financial records, so depending on what is being mapped, but that could be an accountant, that could be somebody that needs this, right? But it looks like there's only 34 events. So chronologically listed from newest to oldest, oldest being at the very bottom. So 8 o'clock a.m. They came in, they had their coffee, they log in. Nothing special. Open up Outlook. They got to check their emails, right? I got a spool.exe, registry object added or deleted. That's not usually concerning if it's done by system. And it doesn't say user in here. Fake hotel vouchers for grabs. Okay. Interesting. Did they click it? Content email be removed in accordance with privacy regulations. Feedback needed. It looks like they're going through their emails. Content emails removed. Okay. More emails. More emails. Then there's a DNS query. TryHackMe.com. Sans Ambassadors Program. TryHackMe. Yep. TryHackMe. Bachelor's in 10 certs here. 9 GIAC and Blue Team 01 equals first SOC job. Are you trolling us, Joshua? Some logs are not fun in Splunk. It's true. Some logs are not. All right, we're just going to continue through. There's only 30 to see what was happening. All right, so just before they queried DC TryHackMe, 8:29:44, and then a minute later, PowerShell. A PowerShell command. Okay, well, this isn't great, right? We have logs showing that they logged in, they opened some emails, and then all of a sudden we see a PowerShell command line using the invoke expression to download a string from a URL, which we've seen these in, we've seen a similar command in Hack the Box. I'm sure it also exists in one of the modules in TryHackMe, but it's downloading a PowerShell to invoke, presumably from memory. Looks like it's related to PowerCat. If none of you are familiar, PowerCat tool. It's not like a PowerCat the food. PowerShell TCP/IP Swiss Army knife that works with Netcat and NCAT. Let's familiarize ourselves with that. You see something concerning and you're not familiar with it, familiarize yourself with it. And then all of a sudden your red flags start firing. You start sweating because you're a brand new SOC analyst. You're wondering if you need to escalate this to the senior analyst, but you don't. You grab it by the... and you just continue looking. Okay. Add some flags, more PowerShell. What else is going on after that? So within the same fraction of a second later, same thing. We have the invoke expression, PowerCat. Then you have net exe on local group. So it's enumerating some stuff. What I don't like about this is it doesn't show you... it doesn't show you a user. Not that a user would be doing this, but maybe there's some service account that's running this as a part of whatever it has to run. If this is a service account that has to check to see if it has a certain permission in order to run, which is probably a terrible design. But anyways, still be useful. It'd be useful to see, unless I'm just blind and I'm not seeing hostname, process name, net, process parent ID. Yeah, this is all process related things. You haven't used Splunk before? You should get familiar. It's fun. The best way to learn anything is by... what is this blob? What did I do? Did I change? I changed the above to... oh no. Okay, I better refresh that. I don't think we want to view it in raw log. That's the whole point of having a SIM, is that it parses it out for you so you don't have to look at a blob of logs. Oh, is it not let you? Or did I just brick it? Because I don't remember it being like that. Oh. Let's see. Maybe if I refresh the search. Okay, we fixed it. That's... whoops. Let's not break the... I wouldn't say this is a VM. Where do I start if I want to start cybersecurity noob here? TryHackMe, Abron. Get on the platform we're currently on and take a peek-see at this. Okay, okay, I fixed most of them. There's still that blob right there. I don't want to redo it. But let's go. Emails, data source PowerShell, file path, downloads. Okay, so it looks like he downloaded PowerView.ps1, which I believe was the invoke expression, wasn't it? Yeah. No, that was PowerCat.ps1. What did that get renamed? Power view.ps1. Interesting. Power view.ps1. Event action is executing a remote command. That's the beauty of these tools, is that it gives you explanations of what is happening, so you don't have to really use your brain. Okay. Executed a PowerShell. There's a file creation of an Excel document with robocopy. If you guys aren't familiar with robocopy, become familiar. It's a Microsoft built-in tool. Oh, it said it right there. It's more comprehensive than copy. It's copying stuff, if we had to dumb it down. And specifically, in the exfiltration parent directory, it's robocopying into there. And then here we have the PowerShell invocation details value, seeing that NS lookup on the domain there, hazardware with fours.io. Download that exfiltration. There's all interesting stuff. This is not stuff that I've seen because all the environments I've worked in have been relatively clean. There haven't been any breaches like this where there have been exfiltration. So this is interesting to see. Message pipeline execution for command line. Okay. All concerning things. Execution bypass. More PowerShell. More PowerShell. Then there's a DNS query. Services.msc. Smart screen. Promoted a remote thread via dwm.exe. Interesting. Not entirely sure what that is. Magic weight loss hat pills. More emails. And this is it. That's all the logs that we have. So, likely the two events that we've already seen are related, and they're triggering multiple alerts. It's not uncommon for you to get multiple alerts for activity on a singular endpoint. If you have certain security tools, they will correlate the alerts together, and they'll bundle them. Not all tools will do that, so you might just get a slew of highs, mediums, and lows, and they're all, you can say, related to the alert here in the case reports. We're not going to do that. All right. Before we write this case report and see if AI likes our answer on what we think is happening, right? Because we saw Sysmon. Actually, did we see that net.exe? Did I skip over that? I was going to answer some questions. No results found. That's what I thought. Am I not getting the entirety of it? All time. Let's see. Let me refresh this. Try this. I wonder if I can control F. 28 events? Weren't there more a second ago? 26 events. Ooh, 31 events. 36 events. 33 events. When I'm re-hitting enter here, and it's giving me more events or less events. Oh, that's buggy. I don't love that. Keep that in mind. Okay. Well, would it help if I specify the day? We know this happened on the 8th. Does it let me specify a range? Let's do before. Let's do before the 9th, 2024. 42 events. Biet. Wonderful. Okay, so narrow it down. Otherwise, it does not like you. And you're not going to get the actual stuff you need. All right, now can you find that .exe? No, you still can't. What if I hit refresh over and over? Okay, we got one. All right. TryHackMe if you're watching. I don't know why it's doing that, but we're not getting all the data. If you're not getting all the data, how are you supposed to conduct an investigation? I know that's not me doing something wrong. If it's giving me an event one time, but it's not the other times. Relate to this one, Dallas News. All right. Anyways, I'm going to see if I can adjust this. Is it easier to get a job as a junior analyst compared to a junior penetration tester? It is easier to get a junior analyst position. There's more of them, and there's less bar to entry, although junior penetration testers' bar to entry is getting a little bit lower the more that they rely on tools and scripts that are already made for you in the company. It's in alpha, to be fair. Exactly. It's in alpha, right? Not beta. It's not quite getting there. Have you played Age of Empires? Hector, I have not. I like to feed computers, so worth it if you're totally new to computers. Better do hands-on real-world scenarios. Yeah. I mean, they still can help. If you don't know anything about security concepts, Security Plus will kind of give you the baseline understanding of how to talk security principles and whatnot. First-time chatter, Griff Nex. Appreciate your YouTube content. Oh, thank you for it helping you. You've definitely been somebody who's inspired me. Oh, shucks. That's what I'm here for. To be a manic source of inspiration for people. Started InfoSec engineer job. Ooh, that's exciting. Nice job on the PSSA. Solana to 1,000 later, y'all. Okay, are we talking crypto now? I can't be shilling out crypto advice. I will get in trouble. All right. Going back to YouTube, bread cybersecurity might not be. Shit looks crazy, lol. Hi, Taco349. I'm not sure if you're here in here yet. Still. All right. I might have missed a lot of your comments. Have you, Akira, have you ever used the cyber ranges offered by CyberBit? I have not used CyberBit before. Seems like a more free-form, customizable environment. Do you then run attack scenarios in? See, I'm all for streamlining the learning process. If you have to run your own scenarios, attack scenarios, I guess I could do that personally. But if I'm going to direct someone who has very little experience and they just want to get their hands dirty with how work is like, explaining it in a video isn't the same as you poking around, typing in an investigation. So this is, if they can fix these small little issues, this is awesome. I don't know how Let's Defend is set up. Maybe it's better than this. I'll have to take a look at that. Okay, does it let me do... It does, but it's not in the wonderful format. I don't know if I can do real-time, relative presets, all-time, real-time. How about that? No? All-time, real-time, I didn't like that either. I don't think real-time is the button we want. Let's do... That's fine. Between 1970. Okay. Let's not overwhelm it. Let's try a range. Because it's not showing us the log that we got an alert for. It's not showing us this. We don't see this command in the... We can't speak to this alert if we don't know what happened surrounding it. I might just have to refresh this. I'd hate to do that because it took like 5 minutes to spin up. There we go. 313 events. That's way better. All right. Hopefully it doesn't crap out on us, but do we get more than one now? 6 events. Okay, sweet. All right, so this is what we're interested in. What were they using net.exe for? They were looking up net.exe on a user, net1 on a user, looking at the local group, another local group. Then they were using it to map financial records, and then they used it to delete it. All red flags. Am I right? It's 1 a.m., so I'm going to head to bed. Have a good stream. Oh, thanks for tuning in, 3 Frosty. Have a good night. Yo, Mad Hat, would CDSA Hack the Box cert give me a SOC job faster than Hack the Box CPTS? I can't answer that question. I wouldn't say it's faster either way. They're just different certs. I'd say CDSA and CPTS are asked for about the same amount. So sorry, I'm checking. I'm on call all the time, right? The joys of working from home is that you get forced to be on call all the time. Blue Team Level 1 is awesome. Yes. I thought it was a WoW expansion name with characters up to 1,000. Worried about a couple exploits. DevOps or CyberSec? Whatever you're more interested in, Yago. Development operations? Do you like figuring out how to better improve the state of the operations? Or do you want to look into more security-based operations? It's up to you. Matt, what's your opinion for Tails, Linux, for just looking into the dark web? My opinion? My opinion is you should go for it. Just be careful what you click on. That's my opinion and my advice. Okay, so they use that to delete it right after using it to map it to the Z drive. They mapped to the Z drive this file share indicated by the // This is probably all rudimentary information for y'all. From their file server, and specifically the financial records document. See, I don't know what case report. I guess before let's rewind a little bit. There's 300 events. You could scroll through all 300 events and then just get to this point. But ideally, you'd want to kind of hone in on exactly what's happening. So I think within 2 minutes of before and after, I could probably do 5 minutes. Although 5 minutes is probably still too much. Let's see what it gives us. We know that this happened on the 8th. So let's give it the 8th. Go to, this was 34. 8. Let's do 34. Let's do 4 minutes. And then we're going to clear the net.exe filter and then see what else was happening aside from net.exe to kind of give us a better explanation and or a write-up what might have happened and whether or not this is true positive or if this is just accounting mapping something. It is odd that they added it and they deleted it, but maybe they accidentally added a file share that they didn't want to or mean to. 38. Apply that. We still have the events. We do. We'll just clear the filter. There's 194 events. Okay. I guess we're just going to have to scroll through it either way. Wait, actually, 853. Drag and drop. Whoa. That's a bug. At this point, I could just make a list of complaints, and then I could send them to TryHackMe and be like, hey, I noticed this about your platform. This might... This is GUI bug hunting. Those pop-ups were unrelated, but I put in 8. A 9 instead of 8. All right, hopefully that's a lot less. It's not. But yet, 8? Oh, I did 2025. Report all the bugs you make, like $50. Ya go! Thanks for the Prime. 113 events. Okay, that's a little bit less, but it's still 4 minutes, give or take, before and after. So let's just take a look at... Do I not have a scroll bar? Is that another limitation? That's not good. All right. We have the use right there. We have an email. Email's been removed. CO address, company visions and goals. Robocopy. They robocopied E. Process file. Use Z. Their downloads. There's a PowerPoint. This is all going to the exfiltration folder. That's where they deleted it. Then they zipped together some files. I wonder if we're not getting the entirety of the sysmon logs. Bro, can you install dark reader expansion, please? I'm turning blind. I don't know if you could turn dark mode on here. Let me double check. I don't think you can turn that on here, can you? Settings. Oh, is that gonna let us do this? I gotta save it. That's probably not for that. That's just for this. This is their Splunk board. Or their server settings. Maybe it's in server settings. All right, for the sake of all of your eyeballs, let me troubleshoot this to see if I could split this into, not split it, but change it to dark mode. Global banner, login, background, general settings. I don't think you can do dark mode. What's a Splunk? Splunk is a, in this case it's a SIM, but it's largely, most people would know it as a query language. It's a search language, to be more precise. A lot of people use Splunk, so you should get familiar with Splunk. Dark reader extension is... I don't know if you can do that on here. Because this is not... let me see. Dark mod. How familiar am I with DevSecOps? Do you mean SecDevOps? A little bit familiar. I know a tiny little bit about security, automation. Is that better? Hope links can be posted to MS. Is Splunk free or I have to pay a license? Other than tools like TryHackMe that use Splunk to give you access to it for free. I don't think they have free learning material, really. They might. I haven't looked into it. Port Swinger? Swigger? Swinger. Port Swigger. Oh, you guys are answering each other's questions. Okay, I'm going to continue then. So, where's my search history? Do I have it? X is star. I didn't have a complex search history. I was hoping it would have the dates in the search history, but alas, it does not remember the date. It was the 8th. It was 3, I believe. 3:40. Oh no, it was 8. What am I talking about? It was 8 o'clock at on the 8th. 30. This is the 24th. Was on the same day. And the 8th was still the 34th. Okay. 114. Perfect. Let's go back. Ooh, it looks so much better in dark mode. That was a pro tip. I don't ever use Firefox. Let's go back to... All right, so there we have the same thing we saw before. Z, downloads exfiltration, client portfolio summary, access. So this is what was copied over from, I'm guessing, the shared drive, right? They use that to map it, and then they used robocopy from or following that mapping. So you're not going to see a log that necessarily says, I mean, unless I'm not filtering this correctly, that says, oh, they pulled from that map drive to this downloads.exfiltration, right? It was creating these files using robocopy. So what this looks like to me is they're pulling in very particular files into this exfiltration directory, and then it looks like they're zipping it. And then we see NS lookup. And when did we see... What did we see before this? Let's go before the 33. Because if you recall, we saw activity related to PowerCat. And you know what PowerCat does? TCP Swiss Army knife that works with Netcat and NCAT. And what did we see? All right, everybody. What did we see? And let's look up to an IP or a URL. More NS lookups. Is that all we saw? PowerShell NS lookup invokes expression. Mouse core worker NS lookup. Keeps doing that same process name with NS lookup.exe. This looks like exfiltration to me. I wonder how vague you can be with these reports for AI to at trick alert sales strategy vision for the AI to all right, so we've investigated white box pen testing. It's fun. All right, before I write this report, Russia's kind of weird on cybersec. They don't put criminals in jail. That is true. Just redownloaded Twitch for me. Oh, A Brown, thank you. Appreciate that. Did you cry yourself to sleep? You need a career. Hector, what are your thoughts on ranking countries on cybersec? What's your top 3? Probably the nation-state actors. I think cybersecurity, as it's concerned, with... Oh, is there a report? I feel like I read a report. Oh, that's targeted attacks. Okay, I was gonna say Russia, China, and the U.S. are probably the top 3 most concerning cyber sec threats to the world. Trust me, if you hack Russia right now, the U.S. will thank you. Varik, we're going through TryHackMe's new in alpha stage SOC, live SOC. Not Israel? Nah. The reason, so the US is the single most targeted country for cyber attacks, and the 2 that dish out the most cyber attacks are Russia and China. So naturally, that leads me to believe that there's going to be... That's how I categorize it. In my weird brain. I can elaborate if there's a more specific question. But, okay, so this is a true positive. They mapped a network drive to a local drive, and we're going to write a rationale for it. Our rationale is, I think we're going to have to use actual information from the logs themselves. So prior... Is that going to let me type? It did a second ago. Prior to the network drive mapping, activity. Actually, was that prior? Or am I just... Let's go back real quick to 27 and then 30. There's 13 events before that. Email. Course update. Login. Okay. No prior. Following the successful mapping of the shared drive to the device using net.exe. Multiple files were observed being zipped into a file. Are you guys bored yet? Or are you excited to have a SOC job? Because this is all you do every single day. It does get a little bit more in the weeds, but this is basically it in a nutshell. I need to change my filter. I think anybody who's worked in a SOC can attest to this. The events for hat models want to meet you. I still think it's being finicky with which logs it loads. 36. I just want to get the name of the zip file, because you need to put in artifacts into investigation to help your points. Okay, come on. I guess I could use these too. Oh, and then also it's worth noting what type of files. Multiple files, and the more artifacts, the better in your write-up. It'll prove that you know what you do. You know what you're doing. We're observed being zipped into a file. In this case, it was a zip. The mapped drive was related to financial documents based on the files that were copied over using robocopy to the downloads directory. Following the file downloads, the file copies, the shared drive was removed, likely in attempts to hide. I'm gonna say it, the bad actors tracks. And then and I hate using, it's huge, of course the world is completely digital. Script blocks invoke expression. Oh, that's our issue. Let's let's extend this to 42 or 43. Is it being, oh, it is being finicky again. 8:43 to 59. 8:33, 8:59. There might have been a delay. Because what we'll typically see is the file being sent out. Oh, I guess I could search that. That makes more sense. Xfill.me.zip. Want to see if the zip file was sent out in a different process after it was created. 18 processes related to that zip file that we know is likely containing sensitive financial documents. Pipeline execution for commands, system convert to string. Right there. So it's invoking NSLOOKUP to send out the zip file. Schools and have certs too. Filtrating. I wonder how detailed these have to be. Exfiltrating the data to URL. Require escalation. I'm not entirely sure what they mean by escalation in this sense. Because if it was me and I was investigating this and I saw that data just got exfiltrated and it was financial documents, this would warrant an incident response. And we'd have to open up an incident response bridge where all hands on deck, we need to bring everyone in to determine the extent to which data has been leaked. Are we talking about customer data in the form of like email addresses, credit cards, God forbid, social security numbers if it was for whatever reason, financial documents that are associated with payments for a hospital. I swear you close your first alert. Okay, so I don't know at what point it gives us automatic checking for if we're correct in our determination. Execution. View report. It said that it should be pretty quick. It's 3:20 a.m. Snap, Saldus! What are you doing awake? Early to bed, early to rise. Or something like that. Okay, that was it. I don't know if any of you are deeply watching, to what extent, but that was doing one of the alerts. It looks like data exfiltration. And like I said, this was when I would be a point of escalation. And as the escalation process is happening, as a security analyst, you'd have to go back into the dashboard and start again. If you started this, you'd probably have started with the high alert, not the medium one. But there's a lot of highs that were in there. But you would go through and you start to triage all of these, and you'd say whether or not it's related to the same. In this case, if you probably just look at the user downloads, you'd look at the URL, and you'd be like, this is the same. It's related to the same thing. This, potentially not. You don't have enough information here to say whether or not this is related to that incident. And this is a low, right? You have key roaming, service host, parents process PID. Right off the bat, this looks benign to me. This looks like just noise. And if you look back at the dashboard, alert types here, is there severity? Yeah, there's 40 alerts in low. So low are usually going to be the white noise ones. I think what stood out to me at first was the map drive to local financials for sure. Just as an IBR is not necessarily malicious. Yeah, exactly. It could just be regular, like somebody. Typically, a regular user isn't going to map their own drive, so you'd have to look for artifacts, maybe like a help desk ticket email, if that's the only thing you had, right? If there was no other activity, and you're like, okay, this person. If we go back to the case report. Is this somebody that should be having financial documents mapped to their computer? Is what my next eyebrow would require to be raised. Is this user Michael A. Scott, who works at Dunder Mifflin? Is he supposed to have access to financial documents? I mean, he's the office manager, sure, but I don't know if he's necessarily the finance person. I'm pretty sure that was the other crew's responsibility, is to get the financial documents in check. I think if Michael was in charge of those, he would have had these exfilled a lot sooner. So that's probably what I would check next. If this is the only alert that came in, right? If there's no other anything to work off of in the additional information here, and it was just someone mapped the drive, and you're like, I don't know, you'd have to check emails and then most likely reach out to the user. If there's no indication that this was some tech support session mapping this drive and this was a legitimate case for access to these likely sensitive files. Least privilege, man? Exactly. Yeah, you don't need those. You do not need those. But yeah, you go back through as you escalate this to incident response, waiting for AI to grade whether or not you responded correctly. There's no critical alerts. There's just high, which is surprising to me. I feel like some of those should have been categorized as critical. But yeah, I think all of these are, if you just drill into them, Michael A. Scott. He's probably starting up his new paper company, and he decided, you know what? I give up. Fuck all y'all. I'm going to do what I want. You know what it is? It's him exfiltrating all the information so he can start his paper company. Just so he has his leg up, you know, he knows how to run the business. Because he didn't seem like the type to know how to run the business from the get-go. And all of these would be bundled. These are all duplicates. It's one of the biggest pains in working in a SOC is duplicates. Deduping the SOAR board and the alerts. Yeah. That's all I really wanted to cover today. This is a lot of fun for understanding the basics of working in a SOC. I think if you categorize these... I was hoping it was going to be a live grading of this. I'm not sure if I did something wrong, but it looked like in that preview that it did this live. If this isn't a live, you did this correctly and you just have to come back tomorrow. Documentation, alert triage. There's also phishing alerts in here, I'm pretty sure. Under low. Yeah, there's a bunch of email ones that we could look at potentially. Outbound. Support the TryHackMe.com. Oh, 16 cases need to close to finish? So you got to do all of them. Fair enough. I don't think I want to go through all these. In this, what I think I'll do actually is yeah, I kind of want to... I'm going to do this one. Probably. I'm actually going to copy this over my other profile. Have all y'all seen... That's low stress and jewelry. What was that thing in the news? I was gonna watch a video. Bro, read my comment, please. Okay, sorry. Let me read his comment. Yaren, hey, I got a question. Do I need SOC knowledge to play King of the Hill, or pen test knowledge is enough? I mean, isn't... I thought King of the Hill was free. Right? Attack then defend. I'd say give it a shot. What do you got to lose? If it's not... if you don't have to pay to go in, Yaren, go play. Derek, Q is DOE, right? Work for government or utility companies. You can stream until 7? Oh. You can stream until 7? I don't think y'all want to stick around until 7 o'clock. I could investigate one of these email alerts. Those are very boring, though. Or, alternatively, we could watch the video that I had lined up. Or, alternatively, we could poke around in one of these learning modules. Thank you, Yaren. DevSecOps. Somebody was asking about DevSecOps. CI, CD, and build security. Source code security. Mother's Secret. Intro to Docker. Look at all this, guys. Okay, I think where is the thingy thing that I wanted to cover? Oh, I'm filtering wrong. Filters. Why does this feel... Okay, I'm just blind. 3, 5... These are all not... There it is, okay. That's... No, that's not it either. Nah. Sorry. Okay. I found their job for pen testing. Try LinkedIn. Matthew, they need to sponsor you. Who needs to sponsor me? TryHackMe needs to sponsor me. This looks cool. Yeah. They might not. I ghosted them a year ago, back when I was not really paying attention to my channel at all. I thought you had a Discord for patrons. I do. It's not a Discord for patrons. It's a private section within Discord for patrons and YouTube members. I try to prioritize that chat. So if there's questions, there's also a resume review section. Not that I'm better at reviewing resumes than a lot of the people in the Discord. There's a lot of knowledgeable people in there. I'm hoping to grow it to a point where there's people who like being in there and they like helping people, because I'm not the most knowledgeable person on all aspects of everything, right? Nobody can be. We're all just continuously learning. Oh, thank you, Donovan. Appreciate that super chat. Thank you. Much love. You got to do all of it? Take hours for this path? Okay, yeah, I'm not going to do the DevOps path today, probably. Honestly, I should go through this because I'm transitioning at work into a different position from security analyst work, so hopefully I'll have a better grasp of this soon. This comment is sponsored by Raid, BetterHelper, Dollar Shave Club, Shadow Nord, VPN Legends. School is useless. In college, they just eat your money for zero. Even Mad Hat Videos tells you that. Just try to build projects and put in GitHub and jobs. You'll see what you can do and hire. Exactly. Not the just do what I say. College is, unfortunately, I don't care how many comments there have been. The filler classes don't really help you. There's too many of them. I think you can get away with 1/4 of filler classes to make sure that a person isn't a psychopath, right? They're not going to hack the Pentagon. It's like, no, I don't need to be a more rounded individual by doing 2 years of filler classes to expand your mind and all that. I've ranted on that in videos, though. Oh, this one's probably good. All right, in case... Have any of you heard that the U.S. Treasury was hacked? Hello, Zonny. Anybody even caught wind of the U.S. Treasury being hacked? Happy New Year, Bob. Welcome. I know it wasn't really on the news, but they got hacked. What are filler classes? Filler classes are classes in college that have nothing to do with the actual major that you're going into. So you're going into computer science and you're trying to code, and they start throwing English 101 or business communication or my favorite, discrete math, which, okay, discrete math, you probably need that for how coding works. I just hated it so much. What other filler classes? Oh, the science series, having to do what is it? Chemistry, physics, or biology, 1 through 3, those are filler classes. There's no reason for those to exist. You do need to know algebra, like basic math, but beyond algebra, you shouldn't have to know more than that. They hack the treasury and find out it's empty. I don't know. Do you guys want to find out what they did? I don't know how. A lot of streamers probably pre-watch their stuff, but I like to just jump in with no information whatsoever into stuff like this TryHackMe SOC simulator, brand new, that I just noticed was on the dashboard. Okay, let me open up. I wanted to take a peek-see at this.
Liberty Mutual customized my...
Oh, right. I don't want ads. Okay. I trust this is probably fine. I'm going to open it up like this. And I'm just going to hope it's fine. All right, let's switch the window. Okay. Just thought I did calculus. Holy shit, that's cancer. I'll do you one better. I did Calc 4. I didn't pass Calc 4, but I tried Calc 4. I gave up on Calc 4 because I was also doing linear algebra at the same time. And I was also doing my intro to, what was it, Java class? Like 140 at the same time, which 2 of those were requirements to graduate. Calc 4 was not.
Stocks closed down Monday on the second to last trading day of 2024, a year in which all 3 major indexes posted strong double-digit gains. The Dow finished about 1% lower, while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq did slightly worse. The Nasdaq, though, is on track for about a 30% annual gain, while the S&P is headed for a 24% rise over the past 12 months, and the Dow is up 13% in that time. Abound Financial Chief Investment Officer David Lott attributes today's action to typical end-of-the-year activity, along with a deterioration in stocks that began a few weeks ago.
You're going to get some rotation happening this time of year. People just automatically selling the winners and buying the losers as they rebalance. So you see some of those tech companies, kind of large cap growth in general, selling off a bit. Seeing even last week saw small cap actually do a little bit better on some of those days. So overall, I don't think that there's a ton to see there. Yes, we're used to seeing green this time of year, but ultimately I think we're losing a little bit of momentum going into 2025, and that's what you're seeing take place.
Stocks on the move included Boeing, which fell 2% after South Korea's acting president.
Why are they telling us about stocks? I don't understand. The title of this is U.S. Treasury hacked by China, documents stolen, and they're talking to us about the state of stocks.
Then ordered an emergency safety inspection of its entire airline operation, following the crash of a Boeing jet in the country's deadliest air accident in its history. And American Airlines added 1.5% after broker Raymond James upgraded its rating on the shares to outperform from market performance.
Is this what it feels like to click one of my videos where I'm just talking before I get to the point for a minute? If so, I apologize. Because there's more. Look at that. They're still talking about stocks. All right, probably right here.
0.9%. A notable bounce back from last week's Fed-induced sell-off, said Anna Rathbun, Chief Investment Officer at CBIZ Investment Advisory Services.
And I do think that that's notable despite the fact that we have low volume.
Okay, maybe right here. I'm so confused. Okay. That had absolutely nothing to do with what the title was. That was a load of crap. I mean, I'm personally am invested in the stock, but I don't want to hear about it. You guys should invest if you haven't already. Think about your future. You want to retire by the time you're 60. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to retire. Go back to here. Okay, let me just not have that. This, I just want to see if there's a report on it that actually makes sense. This is the first one that comes up. Okay. What about this one?
But we also want to get to some other top stories that
They also want to get up to some top stories. Let's see if this is a top story that actually tells us something that we want to know.
we are following for you right here on Live Now from Fox. And it has to do with a big hack that happened recently, and it was just announced by U.S. Treasury. They say that Chinese hackers stole documents in a major incident, and right now that is being discussed, of course, in different avenues here as Chinese state-sponsored hackers breached the U.S. Treasury Department's computer security guardrails this month and stole documents in what Treasury called a major incident, according to a letter to lawmakers. The hackers compromised third-party cybersecurity service provider Beyond Trust and were able to access unclassified documents there. So a major security breach that we want to continue to talk about right here on Live Now from Fox. And I want to bring in our next guest here this hour to help break down this breach and what it can mean. So this is Nathaniel.
Like literally when you YouTube search this thing, it's all just like 1 minute clips, and I wanted a breakdown of it. If it's a minute long, it's probably not going to break down shit. So let's see what he has to say.
With Data Vault Holdings, he is the founder and CEO. Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Nice to see you, Mike.
All right, so let's get right into this. For everyone that's watching, you think about, okay, Treasury, big department there, has to do with a lot of, we're talking about the safeguards really of our economy. And with this breach, what does that mean? And what were you thinking when you heard that?
Well, leading into this, there's been a lot of talk about TikTok and its approach with our youth and how they've penetrated the number one. They have the number one app in U.S. youth. And now this attack, which is, again, the Treasury is going to have documentation there that gives you insights to American life, almost every aspect. And there's a tremendous threat to our businesses and to our communities when you look at this particular breach, which happened through a third-party source. So Beyond Trust, cybersecurity company that's a third party to the Treasury, has.
Okay, so third party. Did you guys catch that? Is anyone surprised? It's always a third party, right? I don't know if that's a deflection, right? If that's something that they're saying, oh, it wasn't us. We have all of our security compliance in place. It was them. It was a private company that we outsourced whatever function, right? Whatever, maybe they're storing their data on there and they have an API connection. It could be deflecting.
Provided a security key that's utilized at workstations. And this is what ultimately it's not revealed to us how that security key got into the possession of these Chinese hackers, but that indeed was the process, or the form of attack here was the ability to obtain access to work terminals by using a security key provided by Beyond Trust. So that in addition, to what I was thinking when I heard about the attack was really, the ongoing assault on our data and the use of it by our enemies with respect to understanding every aspect of the United States, and how we live, how we operate, what our businesses are involved in. And these insights give, the Chinese government insights into their own communist regime. They are able to adjust and see information that it was proprietary to us and proprietary to our nation. So it is a very concerning threat.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you could paint a picture for our viewers. So when a hacker gets in through this third party and they're able to access some of the computers that are part of the Treasury Department, how do they then navigate? Okay, let's pull this file, let's open this up. How do they navigate going through all that? And what are they, or do they have an idea of what they are looking for? And is there more roadblocks once they're in to try to get more data?
Well, this time of year, it's a interesting time for the attack. The end result for the hacker is as if they're sitting in the chair in front of the terminal, with the key to access everything that terminal could do. Likely during normal course of business, individuals would notice that activity. Typically, this time of year, we're away on vacations and other aspects where those terminals could be accessed and be utilized without the instant notification. Now, I would state that the FBI, the U.S. Cyber and Infrastructure Security Agency, have had a rapid response since they learned of the breach. And in this case, it appears that they had rather quick response. We've had other breaches by other hackers in our government where these Trojan horses have sat for months and months without detection. This seems to be more of a finite or an acute attack where specific documents are taken. And again, that's just my view of it. But with respect to the response of our government, we do have extremely strong infrastructure and response mechanism. We're the best at this in the world with respect to cybersecurity. We lead the world in that, and that.
Okay, the U.S. is the best at everything.
That bodes well for our continuing to lock down these systems. But again, once data has been breached and taken from us, we'll never get it back. And I would just reiterate with respect to the use of TikTok and the kind of foregoing issue there, where.
Okay, I feel like this is getting a whole lot of nowhere. They were breached. Third party was involved. There was a key that gave them access. Yep. Like the same old, it's like just the same old thing keeps happening over and over and over and over. Real quick, Donovan, thank you for the super chat. Any advice to get into cybersecurity? Start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. It's easy to be like, I need to get 50 certs. Maybe not 50, 10 certs, right? And then you build out this massive list and it just seems very daunting and overwhelming. So just take it slow. Make sure you actually are interested in the niche that you're going for. If it's security analyst, if it's pen testing, if it's you would do access control, maybe you want to do forensics. Look at what you're most interested in, because if you're more interested in doing what you're doing, then you're going to continue doing it, even though you're burnt out and want to play Path of Exile too. So there's another one another video here. I wonder if it's actually a little bit better technically speaking. Let me see. I'm going to switch back to... Oh, I thought this was interesting. How many of you have heard of Lenovo's ThinkPads being tied to China with a back door? Any of you? It was a while ago. I'm trying to find the... Where is this? Because it's funny you say how many apps have spyware on them, right? We don't... It's like almost at this point nothing is safe because everything is coming from overseas. So really, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they just have access to everything right now. We switch that back. And then close.
We struggle.
We do struggle. We struggle a lot. Everybody in the U.S. is struggling right now. Lenovo caught for the third time pre-installing spyware on its laptops. This is the hackernews.com, by the way. SOC is more about malware analysis. It is. Well, I wouldn't even say you go as far as malware analysis. You don't have to go that deep. A lot of it is just understanding process and command executions that you see in the log sources. But yeah, you have to understand how malware functions fundamentally. Been caught installing spyware on its laptops without users' permission. So yeah, we don't. If there's a Lenovo for any new or we didn't know about devices in our environment that we manage, we promptly advise them not to use this. But it's funny because it's like all these devices are coming from China, or parts rather, and we're all unaware. So if any of you have a Lenovo, go look up these three. See if you got this running. See if you have these two DLLs. And this is how you remove it. Your APT has been nuked. But let me go back to. That's that window. I think if I open, yeah, you guys can't see that. Okay, I gotta be very delicate when I click things because I have pictures of myself on my desktop and I have so many selfies. So if I accidentally show my desktop, you guys are gonna see all the numerous amount of selfies that I take. Okay, let me check into this here and open that. Okay.
The U.S. Treasury Department says Chinese hackers gained access to its computers in a state-sponsored cyber attack. In a letter to Congress, Treasury officials revealed that the breach happened earlier this month when hackers exploited third-party software to infiltrate several workstations. China has denied any involvement in the attack and says it opposes all forms of hacking.
We've stated our position many times regarding such groundless accusations that lack evidence. China has always opposed all forms of hacker attacks, and we're even more opposed to the spread of false information against China for political purposes.
Let's get more on this with Ryan Kallenberg, who is Chief Strategy Officer at Proofpoint, a U.S.
Chief Strategy Officer at Proofpoint. I bet this guy knows his stuff.
Based cybersecurity company. He joins us now from Silicon Valley.
If you guys don't know, Proofpoint is a massive, I think they do more than email filtering. I know they're well known for their email filtering. Proofpoint, do they offer more than just email services? Enterprise solutions, cyber attacks. Yeah, Proofpoint email protection. Email gateway is the proper term.
California. Ryan, in simple terms, how did the hackers do this and what data were they able to steal?
So the simplest way I can explain it is that a large organization like the Treasury Department is going to have to manage thousands of computers. And it's going to have to do that remotely because you can't simply walk down the hall and get an IT person to help you anymore. In order to do that, they have specialized software that does what we call privileged access management. And the entire point of that software existing, in fact, is to prevent that very, very powerful account from being abused or in the hands of attackers. Unfortunately, a vulnerability in the design of this particular tool did exactly the opposite. And that vulnerability has been fixed, but unfortunately delivered access to the Treasury Department to the Chinese threat actor.
Now, officials of the U.S. Treasury Department are describing this breach as a, quote, major incident. Some security experts are speaking in almost apocalyptic terms about how bad this breach is. Is it that bad?
I wouldn't say it is. Honestly, this is part of a long pattern. Chinese threat actors have gone after cybersecurity products for a very long time, and they've also done what we call supply chain attacks. Compromising the Treasury directly could be a little bit challenging, but compromising one of the 100 or so cybersecurity vendors or thousands of IT vendors that the Treasury Department uses is pretty straightforward. In this case, also, the only reference is to the theft of documents, which, of course, are politically sensitive. The Treasury Department does handle fiscal policy. They do control things like the IRS that has a huge amount of sensitive information, but there's a specific reference to that being unclassified. So I wouldn't say that this is quite the apocalypse.
And any surprise that, if true, it was China-backed hackers who were able to do this?
No surprise whatsoever. This is a long-standing pattern of compromising sensitive access, especially ahead of large political events like the transition of administration. And of course, China always responds in exactly the same way. They deny any involvement. They condemn the entire notion of hacking as if they would never do that, even when, somewhat ironically, this is pretty straightforward espionage, which is more or less within the rules of the game. This is actually quite distinct from some other recent Chinese activity that does depart from international norms, like the attacks on U.S. critical infrastructure and even the attacks on U.S. telcos that were used to then spy on conversations.
China, of course, as you say, denies all of this. Is there any chance that it's not China in this case?
Well, there's always a
Is there any chance that this is not China? Let's see what he has to say. I don't know if he actually has. That's the funny thing is they probably don't leak that information, and leak is probably not the right word, but they don't want to give out. Oh yeah, we got you. I think it's a very sensitive. You can't blame them publicly because they might nuke.
Theoretical chance. I will say I have investigated attacks where one threat actor was very much trying to appear as if they were another one. That is technically possible to do. I would say the odds of it happening in this particular case, though, are extremely remote because this is exactly the sort of thing that China has been doing. A lot of the same infrastructure we've seen them leverage in the past was used. And this is the type of supply chain attack, again, which they have gotten extremely good at. And so every arrow here points to China, and I would not be surprised if we do see other victims come forward because this remote support tool could be used to, again, do basically anything. So it's a perfect target for a nation-aligned threat actor like we saw in this case.
And do you think that the U.S. government is generally prepared enough for this kind of incursion?
Unfortunately, this is one of the hardest problems to solve in all of cybersecurity, because if you think about it from the Treasury Department's perspective, they're not just on the hook for securing their own systems. They're now also on the hook for all of these different third parties whose security teams they do not control, whose infrastructure they might not know very much about, because a lot of this software is delivered from the cloud, which is really just a data center outside the Treasury. And in fact, in a case like this one, these types of supply chain attacks are very difficult to both detect as well as to prevent. So I do think actually this is one of the bigger vulnerabilities that the US government is going to struggle with.
Whoa, what did he say? It's difficult to
prevent. So I do Treasury, and in fact, in a case like this one, these types of supply chain attacks are very difficult to both detect as well as to prevent. So I do think actually this is one of the bigger vulnerabilities that the US government is going to struggle with.
Cybersecurity expert Ryan Kellenberg, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Melissa.
Hard to prevent and detect? Usually you don't get both. They said that it was privileged identity.
People always ask me, Jeff, what is...
Stop it. Stop it, Fireship. My name's Jeff. Okay. If you have an issue with your identity access management or your privilege access, then that's a configuration issue, right? He didn't go into details of what what exactly happened to allow them to have access to a privileged account. So I question the detection part. Sure, it might be hard to detect. If it's an account that's legitimately accessed, it probably is hard to detect. But prevent? I feel like you could have prevented that if you just had proper configurations put in. And as far as the question to how I would rate the breach in terms of the tier list, I can't rate it anything unless there's technical breakdown of how it happened, and I don't think they're ever going to leak that information. Leak or otherwise obtain it officially through public reports. I'm not sure if that's something that's publicly supposed to be sent out. I don't know government law enough to know if that's a requirement to the public to publish when certain things are breached, when it has nothing to do with public's data. Although the Treasury has our data, has our government's data. It affects us all. There's probably loopholes. It's not just one exploit, it's a multi-million-dollar chain of exploits usually. Yeah. TryHackMe? What is that? What is that? You don't know what TryHackMe is? The biggest money making just is the same. Oh, man. Everything's misconfigured. There's so much job security and cybersecurity, but there's also so much stress. Once you get in, you can continue to pivot everywhere because everything is still catching up. Do you think pen testing role is possible without prior job experience? Yes. How do you guys not know what TryHackMe is? Wild. That is absolutely wild. It's a playground to learn blue teaming and red teaming, DJ. As you can see here, they have multiple learning paths. SOC level 1, 2. You can notice the difficulties there. Easy, hard. They got red teaming here. Obviously red. They got a cyber defense. What's this? Okay, so it's like the SOC level 1 and 2, but more granular. I was hoping they had a section. So they mentioned remote access tools. And I wonder if that was a privileged account. Because like kind of alluding to things. What laptop to use? I built my own computer. This is a VM that I'm running Kali Linux on. And my computer is beefy. It's got a, well, I made a video building it with some music, some on point relaxation music. I used to think it would be binary exploitation and super crazy wizardry, but no, people just leaving things on default configures and it makes me cry. You guys are hopefully gonna like the video, the salty video that I'm gonna post here soon. I'm hoping it turns out well. I don't know if it's it really has nothing to do with helping you land a job, because that's basically my entire channel's videos. It's more so me complaining about the state of cybersecurity in my own special way. Oh, Splunk Basics. Blitz. Fantastic. Look at this. This is exactly what's up our alley. Because we were just using Splunk. I wonder if there's anything in here. How many of you want to learn Splunk? We're learning Splunk. I've said it in videos before, I don't work there anymore. I used CrowdStrike at my last job. And they use Splunk query language in CrowdStrike's interface. As well as in Splunk's interface, as you saw. It's one of the leading SIEM solutions, to whoever asked. I think I already asked that question, though. Have a great night, DJ. Raise his hand. Derek. Yes? Do you have a question? What CPU and GPU? Wombo? CPU is computing? Pretty sure it's computing processor unit. Central. But yeah, it's, GPU is graphics. Graphics card. CPU is your processor. I got for mine. I'm an Intel Andy. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I got a... Which generation did I get for Intel? And better question is, do they have newer ones? I got an i9, but what generation did I get? I guess it doesn't matter. I got an i9 and a 4070 Ti, which is in my video. If you're bored and want to go watch I think it's a 10-minute video where I unpack and put everything together, by all means, go watch the video. I build it in silence. There's nothing going on, so you could just mindlessly watch. Oh, raise his hand and learn Splunk. Okay, sweet. All right, so Splunk overview, different ways to ingest logs, normalization of logs. Wonderful. Before we move forward, simply press the green start button. All right, we got a machine. Very nice. Clown Strike, right? I said a 20-minute Splunk session in the restroom. Oh, wait, you meant something. I see what you did there. Did it open up in a new window? Is that what happened? Or do I have too many tabs open? Did not like... add 1 hour, target machine information, start machine. I think it errored out. The machine is not loading. Let's terminate and restart the machine. I think it tried loading. Oh, it might need a few minutes. Once deployed, a card will appear on the top, showing the IP address. Oh, it's not a GUI. Okay. Or view on the attack box. Oh, I can't access that. Ads is crazy. About to go on YouTube. Can you give me a pointer how I get there? I must be a Discord noob. I got a message from the bot Minnow server. Oh. Are you trying to get to the Discord? I can add a link if you're interested in hopping on there. You recommend Raspberry Pi 5 to learn cybersecurity? Raspberry Pis are for fun, universally funded. You don't necessarily need it to learn cybersecurity. I don't want to launch OpenVPN. Do I have that on a Kali by default? I don't. And I don't have attack box time because I used it up. Three machines at a time? I don't have machines up. Do I? Okay, let me reopen this. I wonder if it's counting the box from the first thing we did in the stream. Go back to our Splunk in Cyber Defense Intermediate. No, it's still saying that. Weird. It's still running. We gotta go back to the other one and close something? I don't think we can do this one. Splunk forwarder. What does a component use to collect? Oh, these are just read and answer questions. So what Splunk really does well is indexing. I think that's why they're so good. So they parse logs faster than most people can. And this is more or less a top level view of the indexer. You're not going to understand how it does it by just looking at these photos. Wasn't the indexer. It was the forwarder. Yeah, I don't want to just answer questions though. I want to mess around in logs. This isn't fun if you just... This is how to configure Splunk. Is there a better, more interesting path? In Splunk 2 maybe? It's got a boss label on it. Ooh. Boss of the SOC. Right. Oh, it's the same thing though. From the attack box, I don't have... do I have a list of all my boxes though? How do I close all TryHackMe machines? Google Security Operations, formerly Chronicle. Formerly Chronicle? What do you mean formerly? Did they rebrand or rename? April 25th, Chronicle Security Operations has been rebranded to... Oh. Alright, that's fine. I guess I haven't had any major issues when I used it. It did index pretty quickly. But I will say that... What is it now? Google Security Operations. I'm just going to call it Chronicle. The way they named their fields was stupid. Absolutely stupid. Like, they had process underscore process, or like command line parent underscore process underscore command line. It was the most asinine thing. It wasn't consistent. But anyway, I rant over because I'm sure most of you haven't touched Chronicle before. Deploy the virtual machine. I'm not going to be able to do this unless I can find the machines, which I don't think I can find those in here in one place. Yeah, UDM fields are something else. We actually had to submit special requests to change how our logs were parsed so they would match the fields in Chronicle in order to write rules. It was a pain in the ass because all the rules we wanted to write relied on one particular UDM field, and until they would fix this mapping, it wouldn't work, and we'd have to sit around and wait, and they weren't the best at making those changes. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to do one of these. Without going back into... Let me see. Maybe the SOC simulator is still running, and that's why? You'd think that if you close the browser, it would just close the simulation. There we go. They've done better at having canned parsers, so it's not as bad as the years prior, but still in the new set of growing pains. Yeah, I'm somewhat happy that I don't have to deal with that anymore, although it was very fun not having done that before. That was a side project. I didn't have to deal with the ticket queue while I was in meetings doing that. It's very nice. And actually something to show for it. I had like something that I completed, not just a bunch of tickets that I did. It was more like a project that I could talk about in interviews. That's why I heavily emphasize... Sorry guys, it's going to take a hot minute for it to load. And then we can do whatever this language is, APT. Tedangan, boss of the SOC. Module. I like the images. Yeah, projects are important because it gives you something to talk about and not just seem like you studied for certificates. They're like, so, what's your greatest achievement? Well, I'd like to brag that how I could pass the CISSP in a couple weeks. I'm really good at memorization. Right? If you can't talk through a project that you did, you're going to seem like you're kind of vapid. And I probably used the word vapid incorrectly, but I'm not an English major. Oh, the definition actually summarizes me. Offering nothing that is stimulating or challenging. Mad Hat is vapid. Use it in a sentence. Is it background music from Witcher or something? It is from the best MMORPG from my time, from my generation. But it's a new generation, so it's no longer the best MMORPG or game. Wow. Okay, so we want to go to the IP. Go take a look. Wow, that's actually, I feel like a common theme that I'm seeing. Those who couldn't get the WoW subscription for $15 a month, they just went to RuneScape. Are you not gonna let me copy pasta? Shame on you, TryHackMe. They said I could do this. They said... Oh. Gotta specify the port. Naturally not 142 8000. Okay. You don't do it over HTTPS. And look, it's the same as the SOC thing. The simulated SOC environment. I kind of like this. This nice shade of green. Bridgescape the goat. Okay. This is exactly what we had before. So, in case you had no idea where to start before, take this module. I should have done this first, honestly, but I was so excited when I saw that. I wanted to show people, and I wanted to title it in such a way that's like, hey, check this out. What kind of events do we have? Splunk search processing language allows you to search lots of things. Looks like it's piping a bunch of different conditions and search to narrow down the search. Sort, total count, okay. It's all fine. Fine and dandy. 100 series questions. Oh, wow, that's a lot. Okay, well, let's take a peek-see. Question below are from the bots V2 data set. Questions 100 to 104. Some additional questions are added, and this task will attempt to guide you through each answer to approach. We always like a guide. It's like Quest Helper and WoW. The approach outlined in this task is not the only approach to tackle each question. You could do things multiple ways. Very nice. Question 1. The first objective is to find out what competitor website she visited. Oh, Amber. Amber's up to no good. And she's communicating with the competitor. What? Got an insider threat. When it comes to HTTP traffic, the source and destination IP address should be recorded in logs. They should. They don't always, but if you have that, then you're ahead of most companies. If you're logging into Splunk, we're not even doing that yet. You can start with the command index. So similar to what we did before. Index, bots v2, Amber. The events on the first page. It's again not in the last 24 hours. This was a while ago. I bet this loads a lot better too. It's not in alpha stage. Although this is a little annoying. Can I drop down the fields? I can. I pressed the wrong button. Hide fields. Okay. See what events are returned. Look at the events on the first page. Amber's IP address should be visible. We have a source IP. Oh, wow. See, this is a lot better than the other one. There's significantly more information to work with. Which I guess the other one is not as overwhelming. So this is what you're going to expect more often than not. It looks like it's giving us raw logs again. It's fine, I guess. Although it doesn't really... It's not fine, because it doesn't say which IP is which. I hate the Jira query language. Any advice how to get into CTI? CTI, I don't actually know how prevalent jobs are in cyber threat intelligence, honestly. I think you just have to get good at looking up stuff on the internet. It's because all it really is just scraping information, right? Indicators. It almost seems like a pool your resources type of job. And just learning how to use those resources to... Because I think largely cyber threat intelligence like Recorded Future and... Well, MISP is free, but platforms like that rely on cyber threat intelligence analysts to go through all the information that they're getting, but then you also have to back that with automation and machine learning because you can only parse through so much. So I think the analysts at that point are just confirming that what they're getting isn't just noise. Yeah, I don't actually know how big of a job market that is. Sorry. I want to say that this is slightly messed up like the other one, but it's not loading these. Why is it loading these as raw log? Pan traffic source. Oh, I'm like, there's not a field. It's just telling you how to drill into. It's just teaching you syntax. So in case you wanted to drill down better. What am I doing? Amber, IP address, source type, equals stream. This is very hand-holdy. Anybody could hop on here and do this. ISP index, IP header, source type, stream, HTTP. You must substitute with Amber's IP address. Oh. Okay. That's... Are we socking, my dude? We did. We did sock. Now we're just going over a module that covers Splunk. Have you seen H4 terminal yet? Trying to get a quest cape? Amber, let's see if it's actually answering. What we're doing is going to answer any of these questions. Amber Turing was hoping for Frothly to be acquired by a potential competitor, but they visited their site, contact information, executive team, website of the domain that she visited. So we want to look at, I see. Amber's, okay, so it does drill you down to answering that question. So you initially want to see what IP address they're coming from, because there's a bunch of crap in the logs. As you can see, there's 56,000 events. So presumably if this is Amber's IP address... Well, actually, wait. We have a source and we have a destination. But that's... Destination IP... Jupyter firewall, inside private. Okay, so we skipped a step. I tried that and it didn't actually yield us any results. And traffic. We had a space in there. No? Yep, had a space in there. Visible events related to Pantrack business report. Get a IP hold an IP number. Okay. Does it tell us that this log is related to Amber? TryHackMe or Hack the Box is better for beginners? TryHackMe. Forged. Hello. Are you on a Hack the Box team? I'm not. If not, care to join one? I have not really any time. We got season 6, number 6, best hacker. Dang. That is a solid rank. This doesn't say anything about being related to Amber, so I wouldn't say that this is related to her. Probably not her IP. The fact that you can't make it even more granular by putting in Amber, right? Can't you just do that? Pan traffic, source type. Why didn't it tell you to do that? The command, it tells you to look at all pan traffic. That's a little confusing, because this is now... user Amber Turing, and it gives us her source IP address, which is a private IP, which is what you'd want to see. Because now you want to cross-check to see if that IP address is visiting any websites, specifically her competitors' websites. Now we pivot into an IP address search. First type, we're looking specifically for the HTTP stream. This is all about learning syntax. Zero events. Interesting. Tadam. Ta-da. Like a magician. My daughter smashed her finger. My 1-year-old smashed her finger, and it turned purple. Upstairs, apparently. That's scary. Just confirming that she's okay. Means we won? No, zero events means that we did something wrong. Because there's supposed to be traffic to... There's supposed to be HTTP traffic if we got the IP address correct. Luckily, there's history. Let's just double check this. HT pan traffic. I think she's all right. Client IP, destination IP, slave translate IP, source IP is the one I just confirmed. Source. Well, what's the 1.1? Destination. They're doing... The source and the source IP are both 2.1.01. This should be their... This should be their device's IP. Index equals IP address, source type, stream HTTP. .0.2.101 source type I don't know. I don't know what I typed in before. First, if you take all the doors off the hinges of your house, people can't slam their fingers. That's true, right? Risk avoidance. Avoid the risk of your fingers getting smashed in the doors. Unfortunately, that opens up a more critical risk of my 1-year-old falling down the stairs, which I'd say then the door is mitigating that risk almost entirely in exchange for accepting the risk of her smashing her fingers. It all comes back to risk analysis. Okay. Amber, finally, at long last, we got some HTTP traffic. And compared to the logs we've been looking at in previous streams, I'd say this is a lot prettier. If you got to look at these all day long, a little bit of color helps us. Similar to coding, right? If you're coding all day long, if you're coding all in the same color, everything is the same color, which I think by default every program does that. It colors functions and variables different colors. But if you're not doing that, it's all one color, you're a psychopath. I don't know how you can do that. Rookie mistake. Reminds me of a census search. I haven't used census before, but I'm spacing out. We're attempting to move on to see her visiting her competitor's website, and us finding proof that we can show Amber before promptly giving her the boot and locking down all of her access to everything, because we're not going to end up like the U.S. government, where we don't lock down access when we're supposed to. Events go to this. It's her house. You narrow it down. We got to narrow it down more, guys, because nobody wants to scroll through 2,000 log entries. So we narrow it down even more. Keyword site. Site field, naturally. Okay. Investigating competitor's website visited. Yes, this makes intuitive sense. Expand the search query, only return the site field. You must substitute keyword with the Splunk commands to remove the duplicate entries and display the output in the table format. I don't think we need to do that. I think if we're trying to go to the competitor website, we're looking for the domain that she visited. Why does it want us to narrow it down? One result to be exact. With the Splunks. Thanks for that explanation. That's not what I wanted to see when I clicked on that. Remove the duplicate entries. Okay. What happens when we pipe? Blank site. Something site. Abstracts, commands. Deduplicate. Best IDE? Best IDE is probably Sublime. Okay. Interesting to see you live. Yep. Just reading documentation on Splunk. Don't mind me. All right. I don't use Splunk that often. Do any of you know what command you use to remove duplicates? Because they hold your hand, right? But then it doesn't. Watch up here. Maybe I skipped a step. Narrow it down. Look at additional fields. Another field triggers the site field, right? It's using site. Think about it. Rescue. Blah, blah. Expand or insert. Additionally, remove duplicate entries, and then display them in a table. Substitute keyword with the Splunk command to remove duplicate entries, but it doesn't tell you what it is. The first keyword is remove duplicate entries. The second is blah blah blah. Yeah. Is where you got to reference Splunk syntax. It's dedupe, I think. 100 events is a lot less. Okay. And then you got to sort it into a table. Output into a table. Table. Is it actually table? That'd be funny. It is table. Okay. Not bad. Look at that. Dedupe and table. Who would have thunk it? Some might ask. Who would have splunk it? Not me. Taking Blue Team Level 1 this weekend. Yay. Very nice. Hope you're studying. Okay, so it also wants us to look for a specific industry. Well, there's only 20 results here. I don't think we have to... Wait, actually, there's more. It's per page. Handful of events, one to be exact. You could also use an industry. Right. But we have to know what the industry is. Who does Amber work for? Did they tell us who Amber worked for? Was this in one of these? Premium quality. I might not have read it. Persona House Bluebird, Wayne Enterprises. Or is this a separate? A beer company? We're looking for a competitor in the beer industry? That's not very PG. PG. Talking about beer. I'm gonna get canceled talking about the devil's Kool-Aid in a stream. We see beer in one of the sites, burkebeer.com right there. Okay. And then if we filter it up here before the pipe, which you can't see because it's down here, we just do asterisks and beer. Funny enough, when I was doing, when I first started at CrowdStrike, this is what I would do. And I didn't get very much more complicated than this. Immediately in an investigation, I did this. Like, username. I would just star stuff. I don't even think you can do that. You can. Well, similar to that, you can do that also in CrowdStrike. look at that. I didn't have to industry shit. We already saw it. It's beer. It was beer all along. Well, it looks like we already know the site then, right? Burkebeer.com. Amber, why was Johnny was Johnny Amber found the executive contact information and sent him an email. What image file displayed the executive's contact information? Good question. We know the site. Oh, okay. We know the site now, so we just gotta go to the competitor website. No more deduping. Cool. We do www.burkebeer.com. This looks way easier than software engineering. Yes, it is. That's what I've been telling everybody in my YouTube videos. This is so much easier than software development. This is software engineering. It's a cakewalk. I've said multiple times in videos, you're just looking at logs all day. You're not coding shit unless you actually get into automation. Like, you start off like a baby little bird looking at these logs, and then you grow and you start getting into a little bit of scripting, and then you get a little bit into the automation side, and then you start to work in the GUI with configurations and start to traverse into security engineering, maybe, or you just do this for the rest of your life. For people who hate coding, I've said it so many times in videos. This is like coding, sort of, with minor syntax. And then once you know the syntax, it's like memorizing a few functions, right? How something works versus all the functions and all the various types of code. Java, C, Python, just to start, Rust, what else? Vim, all the other crap. None of it. I don't have to touch none of that. And yeah. Anyways, rant over. Let's get back into the logs. Okay, so she visited 12 events, if we were narrowing it down to the actual company website. Based on the image, you have a CEO's last name. What image? We have an image. Stream HTTP. You want in a table format. You could expand on the search query to output the specific field you want in a table format. You have CEO's last name, but as his first name, maybe you can get the name and the email communication. Which image? Oh. That one. Probably. sheafscience.png. Oh, there's actually other images too. Expand on the search query to output the specific field in a table format for easy reformat. I'd recommend 100% makes you pretty comfortable doing labs like this. Yes, you can. High school senior, been coding for 2 years, making games. Any free courses to get into this stuff? I'm ready to switch. Free courses, there's a lot of open, freely available modules. I wouldn't call them necessarily courses. On TryHackMe, Hack the Box, I don't know about Let's Defend. Probably have some free content on there. But this kind of dips your toes in the really easy stuff. If you've already got a good grasp of coding, this is not going to be coding. Yeah, so one of these is YouTube IEGC chats, IRGC. What are you saying right now? Something happening on YouTube chat? We're approaching top of the hour, but we're having so much fun looking at Splunk. So you're supposed to be able to see an image in here. I'm thinking of putting in the full URL. Is that what it's asking us to do here? Because we have a bunch of URI paths, right? Socials 02.png. That looks promising. There's also socials 3. Oh, okay. I was overthinking it. Stream SMTP preps filter for Ember, PNG. Well, we have we only have 12 events for the site. So all these URI paths are just are PNGs. Looks like an icon. I think there was a JPEG. There was image set, BG image 01, header, and then there's CEO Burke, right? And it's asking a question about the CEO's last name, but not his first name. So basically, images, CEO Burke, .png. This is making the assumption that the image that's hosted on the website coincidentally has the CEO's name on it. Like, I don't know about you, but when I save files, I don't name them appropriately. They're like image-00134. They're just a random. So this is largely not realistic. But for the sake of the exercise, it makes sense. It can be helpful somewhat. Thanks for stopping by, H2O Lizard. Have a good weekend, a good night. I'll be streaming tomorrow morning. I may or may not be streaming Hack the Box, Let's Defend. I certainly don't have enough time to answer all these, that's for sure. This is a cool introduction for Splunk. For all you looking to get into this, I wouldn't say it's 100% going to be what you do, but it's similar, right? I did this at my last job, using searches like this. I don't use searches like this now. I use a different search entirely, but the idea behind it is the same. You're looking for HTTP traffic. Instead of specifying HTTP traffic currently, I specify a specific column in a table that looks for network traffic. So it is fun for learning Splunk's case. Is this module free? That's a great question. Let's terminate that because it they leave that on. Terminate the machine. Blue primer series. Competition. Ooh. Is this part of a competition? Let's go back to the learning paths. Cyber defense. I don't know if this is... Where would it say if it's free or not? I have a premium account. Let's see. Splunk 2. Cyber defense. There's a lot of Splunk modules in TryHackMe. One of them has to be free, so you don't necessarily need to have premium. But TryHackMe can be free or premium. I'll do a quick Google for you. Blять, that didn't help at all. That's the problem, is it doesn't tell me anywhere in here that if this is premium because I have premium. My account is a paid account. But well, Force Recon, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing. I have a schedule up on my Twitch just to go through these. It's fun poking around different tools. They're not overly complicated. It's not CTFs. It's not me staring at. So the problem is with streaming is that it can be boring because I haven't worked through, completed a box, right? I could plan these out if I wanted to and then just cut out all the fluff, right? You go here, you do this, you go that, but that's not really the fun of it. The fun of it is being able to sit here and stare at it, which isn't fun for people watching. I do understand that. But sit here and kind of just poke around and be like, oh, I do this and do that and then do this. I'm sure all of you who've done TryHackMe and Hack the Box know what I'm talking about. But hopefully if just one person sees me mindlessly excited about certain things on one of these sites. Have you done SOC Analyst Pathway on Hack the Box? Are you talking about Hack the Box Academy? I'm guessing you are. The pathway meaning one of these. A job role path, to be more precise. Well, yeah, I mean, to some point, there's a lot of boredom to be had. I understand not wanting to watch someone try to figure it out. And a lot of these are phrased in silly ways. But I have not. I've thought about it, but I'm currently working already towards... I've made promises to my job, and by promises, they're more like, oh, I'm working towards, and other certificates is what I'm trying to get at. So I have to get those first. Music stopped. But yeah. It's been a fun Friday. Oh, man. I appreciate all you joining in while we poke around. TryHackMe is a lot of fun. in the SOC simulator is neat. I really didn't know that they had that. I'm sure Hack the Box has similar stuff, and Let's Defend. I bet this one's a lot of fun. I can't stream these, by the way, in case you're wondering. I'm not allowed. Hack the Box is very specific what you can stream, and it's just retired boxes. I might do Sherlock's tomorrow and bang my head against trying to make Windows things work on Linux and vice versa. Or I might do TryHackMe, or I might do Let's Defend, or I might play a video game. I might play Path of Exile. We'll see. I might just react to content. I don't know. Are you allowed to say which ones you are working towards? I don't want to dox myself. I can tell you what category they're in. They're in cloud security. Cloud security certs can take you very far. SIM engineer, very nice. I bet that's probably robust. Let's look into it right now. Actually, Let's Defend. I actually spoke to Let's Defend at one point. I mean, these are like the trifecta, right? I can't think of a more well-known 3 than Let's Defend, TryHackMe, and Hack the Box at this point. But yeah, all right. I'm gonna hop off. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll plan something for tomorrow morning, or I'll just wake up, get some coffee, and get to it. We'll see. Hope all y'all have a wonderful Friday. If I don't see you on the weekend, have a nice weekend. Get PoE to work on Linux and play it. 2 birds. Just really nerf myself. I'm already dying like crazy, right?